Sunday. Happy race day. Are we even going to get to race because of the rain chances? Oh, and tornado chances in New Hampshire today? I don't know. I have no idea. Literally. It has been a weekend full of rain in New Hampshire. So far. And it's 62% or more right now for the start of the race. NASCAR has even moved the start of the race up a little bit, hoping to get this race in. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens for today's race. But happy Sunday. Happy race day. We only have 9 regular races left in the season. Say the what, huh? Yeah, I said that. 9. That's it. That's all we have in regular season racing, y'all. After Iowa last week, 9. We have 9 races left. And I don't know how to fathom that. We have a 2-week break that's getting ready to come up. And I heard something interesting from Brad Keselowski, and I kind of almost agree with him on it. That we'll talk about here in a little bit. But first, let's talk about Iowa and short track racing. So Ryan Blaney wins the first race at Iowa, and it's like a mini family reunion out there for him. He won stage 1, and then we have Kyle Larson who wins stage 2, and then of course we have Ryan Blaney who wins the final race. It was crazy with 17 lead changes among 9 total drivers, and we had 8 caution flags for a total of almost 50 laps. I was like, what the world? Tires were a big thing. Absolutely insane. And incidents, people, crashes. Kyle Larson 3 wide, one of those incidents that I can recall right off the top of my head. Get spun. Take it 3 wide. That's what you ask for sometimes in short track racing. It's just insane. Absolutely insane. Kyle Busch had another awful night too. He ended up out of the race completely with a water pump issue. And then Kyle Larson was down multiple laps because of his crash. But he met minimum speed. They were able to go in, fix the car, and get him back out there. But was the last person the last person to finish. So, but I guess that's better than not finishing at all. But at the same time, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., fabulous race for him. He has some history with Iowa going into it. He had raced there before. He finished 5th, which was crazy. He had some good memories and bad memories, he said, prior to going into Iowa. So to come home with a top 10, top 5 was excellent for that team. Josh Berry came home 7th, and a great race for that team, especially for someone that's trying to find a ride for next season now with the closure of SHR and now not having a solid ride for next year. So that was a great ride. Daniel Suarez, who's had a rocky season so far, he finished 9th. So a really good finish for him and that team as well. So overall, and just some interesting names in that top 10 of finishing. Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, and Brad Keselowski were your top 10. Most of those names, I'm like, oh yeah, totally used to saying those names in the top 10 for finishing. But some of those names, no, I'm not used to saying those names in the top 10. So was really good to see quite a few of them out there in the top 10 for the first time in a while. It was good to see them. I enjoyed Iowa. I felt like, if you remember the movie Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. I felt like that's kind of what Iowa was. Like, if you build it, a racetrack, they will come. And NASCAR came, and it looks like I enjoyed the race. It was a really good race. Tires were definitely an issue, so it definitely made things interesting for everyone. But the race itself was one, to me, of the better short track races that we had. There was action all over the track, but it also could be the fact that, we did switch over. Because I think short track racing has action everywhere anyway, but watching it on TV, we have switched mid-season to a different broadcast group. And that can definitely change. Thank goodness, no more cartoons. I'm sorry, I'm not one for the cartoons. To each their own. But maybe it's just that. I don't know. I enjoyed it though. I loved watching all the action and seeing all the action. You could literally see it everywhere, all around the track. And just almost like feel the energy through the TV too, which was also really good for me personally. But I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts though. What did you think of Iowa? Was it overall a good race? Even with the crazy cautions that we had, I think overall it was. But again, let me hear what you think. Love to know what's happening in your mind about Iowa. It was definitely a different way to see. We don't usually see Ryan Blaney do a burnout either, and he definitely showed up and showed out at that one in front of the Ryan Blaney group that was there. So it was I wasn't expecting that from him. Overall, wasn't expecting that from him at all. But I guess when I'm not expecting things from people, that's when they do things. It is what it is. So they had like a family reunion right afterwards, I guess, for Ryan Blaney and his family. And that's pretty cool though, to have a family reunion at a NASCAR event. But it's okay. That's a memory that'll last forever, to be honest. So they did take multiple cars back, but I didn't hear of any like overall penalties from it. This week we did get some cool or interesting news. Daniel Suarez officially takes his oath to become a U.S. citizen in Charlotte. So congratulations to Daniel Suarez for taking his oath to become a U.S. citizen officially. So he had already done everything else. He went and took his oath this week leading up to, and that's just a really cool, really awesome story for him, and super excited for Mr. Amigo and how he just his story that he has when it comes to that. So congratulations to him. We did get news that Haas of Stuart Haas will not be selling all 4 charters. They will be keeping one of the NASCAR Cup charters. But we do not know who they will be with. We do not know who will be driving that car or any of those details yet. So all of those details are yet to come. And so we're pending some more information on that. But Haas will still be there. And they did announce who will be running it. It will not be linked to Tony Stewart at all, from what I can tell. So, because Haas is still like, I am still dedicated to motorsports, so I am keeping at least one charter and the 2 Xfinity teams. So there will be someone full-time there to run it. There is a special title. Let me find it real quick. For it. So give me 1 second. That way they can still be in the sport. It is I was like, okay. I'm looking for the official announcement. From earlier this week. They will be operating out of the current building that Stuart Haas has. So that will leave, I believe, Spire, who was contemplating. Okay, the entity is Haas Factory Team, is what it's going to be. And will operate out of the current SHR facility. Joe Custer will run operations. No mention of drivers or sponsors as of yet. Haas Factory Team banner. Front Row Motorsports is now not planning to relocate to the SHR campus. So, yeah, it's things are ever evolving in the world of the sport, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what does evolve continuous, for that project. Because silly season is still definitely going. So we do know that they are keeping one charter, that there is one cup seat available there. Who will get that cup seat, I don't know. At this time, we do know that their deal with Ford ends at the end of this year. So we don't know if they're staying with Ford or if they're going with a different manufacturer. So there's a lot of different things that's still to come out with the announcement that they Gene Haas is keeping a charter. So I'm not sure. Silly season is called silly season for a reason. And it seems to be that we do know who will be taking over for Martin Truex Jr. for next year. Possibly Christopher Bell's slip up and the media this weekend at New Hampshire. Nothing is officially signed as of yet. But it appears that Chase Briscoe will be moving to the 19. But again, that is nothing official. We are still waiting on official words there. Sadly. Because like I said, nothing officially has been signed. They were talking, and this is one thing I don't like about some of the media is, they like to try to word questions in a certain way to get people to answer questions. And it's not there. It's not right. Just let things come out like they're supposed to. But some people just have to be first at everything instead of having morals and ethics. I'll just leave it at that. Because there's a right and wrong way to do things along that way. There literally is. So today we are in New Hampshire. We are at Loudon Speedway for hopefully a race. I am not sure, again, if we're going to get a chance to race, as the weather is looking rather bleak as of right now. They did, like I said, move the start time up just a little bit for the race today. Not by much, just a little bit. Trying to hopefully get the race in. It's supposed to start around 2:06 today, so around 2 versus like 2:30, so about 25 minutes. Pre-race garage opens at 11:30. 301 laps for today, which is just over 318 miles on the 1.05 mile track. Stage 1 ends at lap 70, stage 2 lap 185. Qualifying was rained out. Keyword rain, like I said, most of the weekend there. It is on USA again today. If you need to listen to it, Performance Racing Network, PRN, or Sirius XM Channel 90. It's supposed to be a high of 78 and 62% chance of rain at the start of the race. Martin Truex Jr. won last year. So maybe he'll have good luck and win again this year. Give him his first win of the season this year. So he can at least go out on another winning season. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski, and Josh Berry are your top 10 for today's race. Like I said, it's going to start about just literally a little after 2 o'clock. It was supposed to not start until 2:30, but it is now moved up to about a little 2:05. So they moved it up about 25 minutes. But I is definitely on the weather due to there is possibilities of tornadoes today and or severe thunderstorms. So if you are going to the race, if you're traveling to the race, just keep your eye on the weather, stay safe, and be safe. Before I go, though, I did promise to talk about what I heard interesting from Brad Keselowski. We are getting ready to come into, here in a couple weeks, a break for July, not July 4th, but in July for the Summer Olympics. And Brad grabbed all the team owners and was like, hey, we really need to use this time as time to shut the shops down. Use all of this time to take a break and utilize it as that break time. Time for all of us to get refreshed for the rest of the season, so that the interactions with our fans, interaction with our whoever, our sponsors, everyone basically are top notch. We are ambassadors for the sport of NASCAR, and instead of us giving, basically as much as we can during that time, take the 2 weeks, and this should even maybe talk to NASCAR about doing this even further in the future, going forward, and having some kind of break actually put in so that, drivers, crewmen, everyone has that little break to refresh instead of being on the road for 30 weeks at a time. And it hit me some kind of way, in a good way, because he's right. When you go to a race and you have the VIP or whatever it might be, you want that experience to be memorable. You want your driver or their crew or whomever you come in touch with to be on 100, their best, their positive, and putting on a smiling, happy face for you. Because that's basically what you've paid for. Because that sets the tone almost for the rest of your day. But if that person has been on the road for 30 weeks, in 30 weeks, that person's allowed to have a bad day. And you might come across them on one of those bad days. But if we were to possibly take Brad's idea and build in a week or two of that break, say take a track that has 2 dates on it and just break them down to one, maybe. And build in a break here and a break there to give those drivers, crewmen, everyone an official break, then you're less likely to not get that. So I was like, okay, I hear you. I hear you, Brad. So I have to say, he made sense. But he was like, it almost felt like to a point that I was falling on deaf ears for some of these owners. Burnout is real. It really is real. And yes, we all know what we sign up for when we go to be NASCAR people. Not that I'm a NASCAR person, but when you sign in for NASCAR, you go to be an employee of NASCAR or a race team, you know that you're signing up for this. 30 weeks on, 35 weeks on, and then a slight break. But NASCAR is also known for being a family sport. So it was just something good that I thought was really cool of Brad. So I have to give Brad his dues for actually wanting to make sure that this sport stays truly a family sport. So happy Sunday, happy race day. Enjoy your family day. And I will see you again next week. Bye, y'all.